Hi, Mark. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. My group members, Alexa, Sabine, Lexi, and Caitlin, and I will be discussing consumer behaviors passion project in relation to the successful market leading company GoPro and their action camera products in relation, obviously, to consumer behavior. So during this presentation, we will be discussing various aspects of consumer behavior surrounding the GoPro and their products and what influences consumer behaviors.
Okay, so now for the personality of GoPro's consumer base. So, similar to GoPro employees, their target market is primarily made up of sports enthusiasts, adventurers, and people who frequently travel. So, typically, these individuals are roughly 18 to 35 years old. GoPro's strategy is to partner with professional musicians and athletes to engage consumers in a meaningful way. The psychographics are the main element that GoPro focuses upon. So, the attitudes and values of consumers is more useful to them compared to demographics. The demographics are so broad that they recognize it's not as effective to focus on that. So, in other words, the gender, ethnicity, and education is not as relevant as other key factors just because it differs so broadly. GoPro has done an excellent job representing themselves in a way that reflects their consumer base. So, by using marketing techniques that are engaging to thrill seeking and active individuals. GoPro's marketing content is unique and it's proven to be successful because of their user generated content. Consumers respond well to their cinematic photos and videos, and it's enticed many people to buy their products.
So moving into perception, when it comes to a consumer's decision-making process, their behavior in the process is influenced by their perception of the product. GoPro markets their product on YouTube, for an example, of their consumers being exposed to stimuli that they can hear and touch, changing their behavior as they interact with the video. When it comes to thresholds, a consumer's absolute threshold is not purchasing an action camera that isn't high HD quality and performance, whereas a consumer's differential threshold would be wanting what the GoPro has to offer and beyond, not just the lower quality and performance levels. That's what really changes the consumer's behavior in the process because they want what the GoPro has. And personally for me, I have a GoPro and I've seen like what it can do being such a small camera, but has like so many functions. I got it right away, like 7-8 years ago, and that was like the lowest quality brand that they had to offer at the beginning. Furthermore though, GoPro's tagline, "Be a hero," as mentioned before, effectively communicates the company's core value and influences consumers' perception that they can be a hero again by owning a GoPro, sharing their memories, experience, and inspiring lifestyles that others live and that others can live if they were to own a GoPro. GoPro selectively aims their advertisements towards their target audience by placing GoPro products on YouTube in order to like pull the consumers in. Like I mentioned before, I was pulled in right away, like just seeing other advertisements about a GoPro. I was just like, I want that right now. So it pulled me in so I can see how it pulls others in. So GoPro's YouTube strategy, for instance, creates a viral sensation that users can see across the whole world internationally and will increase the awareness and the brand perception of that company.
Hi Mark, as you know, my name is Sabine Brower and I'll be discussing what motivates a consumer to buy our product. As previously mentioned, the GoPro is the perfect product for the target market to create original content and has brought its users together to form a community in which they can share their most recent adventure. GoPro's tagline is "Be a Hero." This motivates buyers because it sells the idea of inspiration, passion, and individual heroism. Their marketing efforts also indicate that their product helps individuals reach self-actualization. In order to reach this level of self-actualization, the user must meet all other requirements in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the physiological needs of the consumer needs to be met first. Usually this indicates that the consumer must take care of themselves physically, such as getting the right nutrition, getting the right amount of sleep, etc. The GoPro concerns itself with the psychological need for capturing special moments. The safety or security needs are met because the consumers have a sense of trust in the product. They trust that it does what it needs to do when it needs to. Having a camera meet your trust expectations is so important because the value of losing data is so significant. Next up are the social needs, which are met because the GoPro enables its consumers to be part of a community and gives them a sense of belongingness. The self-esteem needs are met as the GoPro increases a user's self-esteem by providing them with unique footage that sets a person apart from other individuals. Lastly, the GoPro helps people reach self-actualization because it helps people overcome their fears and inspires them to live life to the fullest while capturing it with their newest toy, the GoPro.
In order to provide consumers with a successful product, it is necessary to implement the value equation to outline the exchange between what they are getting versus what they are giving up. Value is defined as a personal assessment of the net worth obtained from the activity. Starting with utilitarian value, which helps customers rationalize their purchase decision, it is important that one can provide reasoning as to why a purchase can help them accomplish things in their life. This can usually begin the process of justifying what you get in order to outweigh what you give. When using GoPro's product line of wearable technology, they allow consumers the ease of capturing memorable experiences with minimal efforts on top of the activities that they were already undergoing. The primary use of their attachable cameras is to capture photos and videos to share on social media, as well as creating and documenting personal footage that can be stored for various uses into the future. Consumers who match that of our identified target market usually want a simple product that is reliable, durable, and not going to be problematic. When you're out on the top of a mountain heli skiing in negative temperatures, you want to be confident that your camera is going to be able to handle the extreme weather conditions and not going to let you down at a time where there is no option for a substitute. Now moving into hedonic value, which is found to be the immediate satisfaction one receives from a purchase. The benefit with GoPro is you're obtaining so much more than just a physical product. They can sell customers the overall experience all at the same time. When you see someone outfitted with a GoPro camera attached to them, the impression reflected is usually that they're completed or just about to complete something so awesome that it's worth documenting. The GoPro community is comprised of some really exciting people who produce memorable footage to market to consumers on various different online platforms. Upon purchasing a camera, this allows consumers a step in the door and a beginning to a whole new adventure. If reaching the correct audience who most commonly exemplify the target market characteristics of an adventurous, thrill-seeking individual, these cameras successfully provide great consumer return. With a strong brand name that is known for quality products to ensure consistent success no matter the model or the age of the device.
Right, so today I'm going to be talking about self-concepts. I'm then going to go in to talk about self-image, roles, product congruence, and community, all in terms of GoPro as a company and their products that they offer. So to jump right in, there are 4 self-concepts. There's the actual self, the ideal self, the social self, and the ideal social self. So self-concepts are very important in marketing as they help to identify consumers as they illustrate the feelings and thoughts that people have about themselves. So to jump right in, the actual self is how one actually perceives themselves. So for example, someone could perceive themselves as a very adventurous individual. They're active, say they like going up to the mountain with their friends. So this self-concept in itself could motivate an individual to purchase a GoPro. Moving on to the ideal self, this is how one desires to be. So, for example, someone who just started skiing may aim to be a better skier. They might be influenced by the friends that they're around, and in the end, they could be motivated to buy a GoPro because they feel that the GoPro will motivate them to try new tricks or explore in this activity. So moving on to the social self and the ideal social self, there is a little difference between them, but it sets them apart pretty significantly. So the social self is how one thinks others view them, and the ideal social self is how. So both the social self and the ideal social self can motivate individuals to purchase certain products because they want to be viewed in a certain way. So, for example, someone may want to be viewed as a really adventurous, artsy person. So they choose to buy a GoPro, so the GoPro can reflect this. in front of their peers. Now moving on to image. Self-image is how one views themselves, both physically and mentally. So someone who views themselves as, once again, a very physical, in-shape individual. They're active. They're mentally really engaged in the outdoors and fitness. They may be more inclined to purchase a GoPro because this aligns with who they are. Moving on to roles. Roles are defined as a set of behaviors, rights, obligations, beliefs, and norms that people hold in society. For example, in society there may be someone who is a photographer or a videographer, and they choose to buy a GoPro because it directly aligns with their role in society. Now I'm going to jump into product congruence. And product congruence is the relationship between the good that a consumer buys and who they are as a person. So often there is a direct correlation between these two things. So for example, someone who, as I mentioned before, adventurous, likes to be outside, likes to go skiing, they can be sort of this personality trait, or these traits of their personality and what they like to do can be directly correlated to purchasing a GoPro, because GoPro is pertaining to a lot of these different characteristics. Lastly, I'm going to touch on community. So GoPro actually has a very strong community base. On their website, they actually have a certain section that says, get the latest news and see what's happening in the world of GoPro. So under this heading, there are videos that are submitted by consumers. They also have certain hashtags that consumers can use on social media, which in the end helps GoPro as a company, but it also really enforces a strong.
Moving into attitudes, this topic plays a significant role when it comes to the relationship between the consumer and the given product. In marketing, it is important to try to influence the target market to have a positive beliefs and feelings about the product, as well as a positive behavioral draw to it. Affect, behavior, and cognition together make up one's attitude by outlining their feelings, interactions, and thoughts. Although each element plays its own key role, all three work with one another to conclude the entire consumer experience. GoPro strongly relies on each one of these attitudes in order to gauge the amount of overall satisfaction from their products. When outlining the three different components to shape attitude, it allows for better insight in which areas GoPro may need to improve and which areas they are doing most successful. GoPro most accurately identifies with the 3 out of the 4 functions that together shape consumer value, these being utilitarian, knowledge, and value expressive, although they don't closely fit the description for eco-defensive. Through use of knowledge, it is important that consumers have positive information behind the product and the company in order for them to solidify their purchase decision. GoPro was founded in 2002 and has since then built an international company that has sold more than 26 million cameras in more than 100 different countries. They have created a well-known brand and a community of people who share a love for their product. With countless different channels, it is easy to find information regarding the product or the brand for users to obtain more knowledge behind their decision if needed. Utilitarian attitudes help recognize reward and ease the worry of punishment that may come with the cost. GoPro allows consumers a variety of benefits to outweigh the expense of their product, whether it be the community of like-minded individuals, captured memories to refer back to for years down the road, or the introduction of a whole new lifestyle that creates excitement towards the different adventures they are about to explore. Some of the utilitarian benefits touch on that of the value expressive attitude function, which is identified as the ability for consumers to express their core values, beliefs, and self-concept to others. The community of like-minded individuals that share their footage through GoPro will create the ability for users to share experiences, discuss futures, and motivate and relate to one another on the topics of their camera.
Next would be the decision-making process for GoPro consumers. So this process typically begins with a need or want recognition. Next, the person will search for information, read reviews, and talk to their peers about the product. Because GoPro is somewhat of an expensive luxury item, the decision is not made lightly by the average person, therefore it's considered extended decision-making. The consumer will likely compare GoPro to similar products such as the Sony Action Cam, and this step would include comparing the price, quality, and the features offered. The consumer will then decide whether or not they will buy it, and then if they do decide to buy it, they will reflect on their purchase afterwards. So situational factors can affect this decision-making process. So for example, location may affect whether a person buys the product. Luckily for GoPro, they've done a great job to ensure that their products are available in various stores and online, making it accessible to everyone. So this could persuade people into purchasing the product. So social factors such as influence from social media or peers can impact the decision-making process as well. And lastly, lifestyle is a main factor that can affect this decision-making process. So as mentioned previously, when talking about the consumer personalities, day-to-day activities, and lifestyles may determine whether or not the person purchases the product. And lastly, for GoPro's marketing strategy, they focus on the 4 Ps. So placement, promotion, price, and product. Overall, their placement does extremely well. They have high traffic and purchases on their online website. And in addition, they have over 25,000 retailers worldwide, including in big box stores such as Best Buy, Walmart, and Target. They're also available on Amazon, which is becoming increasingly popular as well. As mentioned previously, for promotion, they do an exceptional job. They frequently use social media platforms and their partnerships with famous icons such as snowboarder Shaun White, and it garners lots of attention for them. GoPro uses a competitive pricing strategy, and they make changes to remain competitive and relevant in the industry when necessary. This would include price bundling. And lastly, the product itself. So GoPro is continually expanding their portfolio and introducing new products with more capabilities. The one issue that we found that GoPro has is their ability to deal with products during all stages of the life cycle. So typically they do well when they first introduce it into the market, and then it slowly diminishes over time. Overall, we found that their marketing mix is effective, and they have received positive feedback.
Consumers are influenced to use or buy a product by different types of reference groups that they're part of or aspire to be a part of. GoPro's demographic is very large and therefore influenced by many different groups. These groups include peers, friends, co-workers, and family. GoPro has curated a reference group that many people identify with of their own. In this community, the members can post their GoPro content on. Some of this content is then used by the GoPro company for their marketing efforts. This marketing technique makes its own customers brand ambassadors. When an individual wants to post their content on social media, they'll often use the hashtag #GoProCommunity. This hashtag can be searched by anyone, and all the content using that hashtag will appear. When an individual's followers notice that they're part of this community, they're influenced to wanting to be part of this community too. The GoPro community is a way for like-minded people to connect and share their experiences. It's likely that many individuals bought a GoPro for the sole reason of wanting to identify with this community and be more like the people and the consumers that go on fun adventures, which they then capture with their GoPro.
I'm going to be talking about the recommendations for GoPro as a company. So GoPro has actually done an exceptional job in terms of their consumer relations and their marketing strategy. And a huge reason for this is their strong presence on social media. Aside from these major strengths for the company and their competitive advantage, something that GoPro could work on is expanding their target market, and not only the age range, but the gender range as well. So right now, the target market is primarily people aged 16 to 35, and males make up a large portion of this target market. So to start off, expanding this age range to more elders and more kids would greatly benefit the company. There's a lot of elderly people that like to, go cross-country skiing, go alpine skiing, go mountain biking. There's tons of different activities that people of older ages like to engage in, just like younger people, but they may not even think to purchase a GoPro because of the technology. You know, they could be intimidated by these features. So if GoPro really kind of broke down the technological elements and really featured the user-friendly specs of these devices and products, it could really entice people of older ages to get their hands on a device. Now, in terms of gender and the younger age, if GoPro came out with more colors, this could also motivate younger kids to get their hands on one if they see a bright orange one or a camo one, or you name it, whatever type of design. This could really, engage the younger consumer base to want a GoPro. Same speaking for females. I recently just got into skiing, and I love the color pink. So if I saw one that's pink versus black, that might, be enough to persuade me to purchase a GoPro. So in the grand scheme of things, GoPro, like I'd mentioned, has done a great job as a company, but these are just a few things that I think would really set them apart from their competitors even further, and just overall improve the company.